So I want you to receive this beautiful young man that I met. Please receive Brother Noah Mathis. He is a student at Hill Freeman World Academy.
Good afternoon, brothers, sisters, mothers, and fathers. My name is Noah Mathis, and I'm 13 years old. I'm honored to address you today as a representative of a young generation of positive Black men. I would first like to give thanks to God. And to Minister Ishmael Muhammad for this opportunity. I like to think of myself as an exemplary model for young Black men and women everywhere. One of my goals in life is to become a significant part of overcoming a struggle that we all can identify with. You see, that there are many barriers for us to overcome in this world. We are here today not only to celebrate the anniversary of the Million Man March 16 years ago, but to celebrate what it meant and to empower one another once again, keeping that spirit of brotherhood alive. I was not alive to experience this monumental event. However, I do feel the rumblings of that occasion as we relive it here in Philadelphia today. Let's talk about something else that I feel each day and every day as a young Black man in today's society. That is the personal struggle of drugs on the street, brothers killing brothers, the high rate of unemployment and racial profiling of young Black men who look just like me that are being blamed for crime and destruction. This I see on the news and in my circle of close friends and family. I look out today and see Black men who stood for 10 hours or more 16 years ago, demonstrating their willingness to improve themselves and their communities. Let's continue to honor our mentors who created this platform by being there for your children, getting involved in programs to better our community, bringing God into the lives of your loved ones, and continuing to stay on the right path of righteousness. The Million Man March was one of the most historic, organized events in the history of Black people in the United States. Let's help to fulfill its purpose. Thank you.
Come on, let's put our hands together for our young generation, Noah Mathis. Now it is my honor and privilege to introduce to you today, there are so many wonderful men and women that made that day possible, that joined the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to make this call for a Million Man March. We thank this brother for his hard work, the sacrifices that he made. He went all over the country promoting the march, and the march would not have been the great success that it was if it were not for the executive director of the Million Man March, our very own. Help me to receive our dear brother, Dr. Benjamin Chavis.
First and foremost, we thank God to be back together as brothers and sisters. 16 years ago, when I heard the words come out of the mouth of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I heard God speaking. And I was so privileged and thankful to Allah that the minister asked me to be the director of the Million Man March. I'm here today with my wife, Martha. And I'm here today to look at your beautiful faces and look at all the brothers and sisters on the stage. I want to begin by saying, Assalamu alaikum. I want to thank Brother Minister Ishmael Muhammad for his leadership and for all of the work that Brother Rodney and all of the people who worked to put today on here in Philadelphia. Brother Kenny Gamble and all of the local organizing committee here in Philadelphia. And to all of you from the local organizing committees from across this nation and in the Caribbean, God has blessed us. We are not a cursed people, we're a blessed people. And what I'm going to do today, in my short minutes, is to express some words of appreciation for what happened 16 years ago. We know that, and hopefully he will speak, but 16 years ago in Washington, D.C., we were blessed to have a dynamic black mayor of Washington, D.C. that opened up his arms. I want to recognize Mayor Marion Barry. It would not have been possible. It would not have been possible without Mayor Barry, his wife Carl, Reverend Willow Wilson, one of our local leaders and national leaders in Washington, D.C. The truth is, and truth is always the best policy, when the minister called for the march, the magnitude of the call was so great. There were some who believed it was possible, but didn't know how it would be possible. This is the truth. And if we don't do anything today, we must be reminded that when God, through his servants, asks us to do something, the doing of it is assured if we will have faith in what we are about and purpose of what we are about as a people. In 2011, here in Philadelphia and throughout these United States, in 2011, this is no time for us to let anything or anyone break our spirit as a people. The Million Man March was not only the largest gathering of our people, it was the most magnificent gathering of our people to express our faith in the oneness of God, to express our faith as brothers toward one another, the unity of our people. Several years ago, Russell Simmons and I were in Africa, and we had a little private time with Brother Nelson Mandela. And the majority of the time that Brother Mandela spoke to us, he was reminding us of the impact of the Million Man March, not only in America, but in Africa, and throughout the Caribbean, throughout the world. And so, my dear brothers and sisters, all the local organizing committees out there, we got to roll up our sleeves. We got to organize again. We got to mobilize again. The spirit of the Million Man March, 16 years later, is still alive. The spirit of the Holy Day of Atonement, 16 years later, is still alive. The spirit of the Day of Absence, 16 years later, is still alive. We have work to do. Black on black crime prior to 1995 was at an all-time black-on-black crime, particularly among our young people, went down. One of the successes of the march. But sometimes we have to be reminded, 16 years later, black-on-black crime is going back up. We don't need to march again, but we need to organize and mobilize ourselves again to remind ourselves of our greatest days together as men, supported by our sisters. There's nothing that cannot be accomplished without faith in God. Keep our faith in God, keep our faith in Allah, and we can accomplish much. And so, brothers and sisters, I come today with a renewed spirit, renewed dedication. And I thank all of you for coming. We're eagerly awaiting to hear from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I know his message will stimulate us to go back to our communities and continue the good work. Before I introduce the next person, I just want to hear you. I want to hear that resonance. The spirit of our people needs to be revived. Long live the spirit of the Million Man March. Long live the spirit of the Million Man March. Long live the spirit of the Million Man March. Come on, brothers. Long live the spirit of the Million Man March. Long live the spirit of the Million Man March. Long live the spirit of the Million Man March. Thank you very much. It's an honor to introduce the first television journalist, the first person on network television to allow us to announce the march and to explain its purpose, was a dear beloved sister who was working for BET, the Black Entertainment Television, had her own show. And she gave us more than an hour. And people all over the world responded to that show. You know who she is. She had the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Hon.LOUIS, and myself as we discussed the Million Man March. Please welcome to the stage our beloved sister, Bev Smith. Bev Smith, our beloved sister.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. To God be the glory. I am so honored to be here today for many, many reasons. Because my soul and my spirit goes back to the day that the minister called the chairman and the founder of Black Entertainment Television, Bob Johnson, and said, we're going to have a march of black men to show the unity. We want black men to come together and no one will let us talk about it. I said, oh Lord, you talk about black men coming together and America gets upset. What can I do? He said, I want you to put them on the show. I said, let's do more than that. Let's talk about it and let's encourage people to come and be a part of this. And let's encourage African American men by being sisters who support them. And so I stand here today as a reminder of the women who came to support the minister. We must talk about that. We must remember Sister Rosa Parks. We must remember Sister Dorothy Height. We must remember C. Dolores Tucker. We must remember Sister Betty Shabazz. We must remember the hundreds and thousands of women who worked in offices, who used their phones, and this was long before we all had cell phones, who used their phones, who did the typing, who sent out the faxes. So African American men would know that now more than ever, black women are behind you as you unite together. I stand here today because when you stand up for what is right,